the House of Folk fans who are in a psychological dilemma this morning, haven't lost. I thought that good. That thing was not an offside though, but you know, it's part of the game. You know, I mean, it's part of the game. And so, as a Kotoko fan, what can I say? Yeah, and then also Zilis Dwayne is watching us from the UK. Zilis Dwayne is a Liverpool fan. Well, Manchester City just got the better part of Liverpool over the weekend, just yesterday actually. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola doing some great work. So I say good morning to you, Zilis Dwayne of the UK, as well as lawyer Ogochukwu Nweke, great guy as well. And then, of course, Prince Nani Ayok, who also lives in the UK. All of you on our stream, please make sure you share the stream. Let's have some great conversations this morning. We're just a few days away. We're going to have the 2026 budget read to us or presented to us by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kisiel Atoforsen. And for many people who say that he's forcing by way of managing the economy, also means that a lot of pressure will be on him. And so what the expectations are for the budget, we're here to discuss them. Remember, during that live presentation, we will also bring that to you live right here on TV3. Let me say also good morning to Obrim Ponkaba. He's joining us. Zilis Dwayne is still there watching from the sidelines, haven't lost with his team, Liverpool. Wishing you all the best. My sympathies go to you, Zilis Dwayne. Charles Thompson. Akasokri Joseph has also joined us. Agongo Roja, please share the stream. Manini Mani, Odilia also has joined, and then Ashon Tiger. We also have a couple of you who have already also joined. Samira Ajete, wishing you all the best. Kingston Bisna Basemega as well. Please share the stream. Let's have some great conversations this morning. Shiraba Kiofuri and all those who tend to watch us, we're grateful. Please share the stream. The second part is going to be about labor. We're told that an agreement has been made for 9% at the tripartite committee with government. And so that's going to be the increment on labor's own salary adjustment you're going to get. It's going to go upwards, 9%. I've seen some, Zato posted something about under the Nanado administration, how it was very high and compared to this 9%. And so we'll discuss all that right here. One of the Liverpool fans is also here. He's in a state of mourning. Lawyer Apia Dankwa, good morning to you. How are you?
Yeah,
You're looking good. You're not in a state of mourning?
No, I'm not mourning. The Liverpool players will never walk alone.
Okay. All right. And then Dr. Kweku Boying has also joined us. Good morning, Kweku. How are you? It's been a while. Yeah, we haven't met since the last week, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then I have Edem Agmana. You are with the GFA also. You have a position with the GFA, or what is it? Under 19 something.
Yeah, I'm the chairperson for the U19 championship.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a guy who is very much involved in sports as well.
President of Nukunu Sports Academy.
Okay. President of the Nukunu Sports Academy, Member of Parliament for Ketu North. I know that you want to put together a festival or something. You're inviting the musician. I didn't see Adam's name inside, so I was wondering.
Oh, no, Adam was sure. I mean, last year Adam was our...
Is Bino coming?
Yeah, Bino is coming.
Because I saw Chief
One, Kinia, Agbesi, Jaffinga, and many of the guys.
Jaffinga will be coming?
Yeah, Nature Drip and all those ones.
Okay, great. When is that event?
It will be on the 26th of December. And this is the third edition. So,
third edition.
Yeah.
It promises
it's
to
actually
be
the biggest music festival in the Volta region now. No argument about that.
No
you can
argument
ask
about
all the industry folks.
Congratulations to you on that. And then also, I have Dr. Bernard Tutubuaing. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yeah.
Papa Roo. Good morning.
Well, let's watch that snippet from the finance minister. It's the second time he did that in March. He went to interact with traders right here in Accra. This time, he's been to the Western Regional Capital, Takoradi, and then giving them assurances that in the next budgetary year, the stalled, is it interchange or crossover or flyover or whatever it is in the center of Takoradi will be completed, or work will restart, so to speak. Okay. and then Takoradi Market. He was in the Takoradi Market, but the interchange, he said that will be done, and then the Takoradi Market as well. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back and have some discussions on the subject.
Hello, how are you? Adnan. Hello, Adnan. He says I'm gonna walk up and then no bar.
Oh, see, the leader is stable. On jump to be on one side. See, you're okay. I mean, now you're okay, crowd.
But Adnan, maybe I walk on. Yeah, good one. But Adnan, but I'm here, Papa. I'm from out to Forsen.
The way I probably why is stable left another man.
When you had to wear one.
In the first young way, no, 12 million. Since you have a 550.
Come in.
12 million.
12.
No, not 1,000.
Why is stable?
Governor, I didn't mean I want more old dinner than yes, long.
Actually, don't go so look at them.
Prices no nyame ne yɛda na first esi kyerɛ or do 10 cedis way sisi esi kyerɛ cup yɛ 5 cedis
Half.
1 cup
One cup. It used to be 10 cedis.
no about 5 cedis
Cup. Margarine cup.
this cup
Another-
the cup
cup.
yeah
It was 10
emo bag your cost do 1 million nkakra me
Yeah.
sisi a kita 60 55 any bito and what kwaya do 1,000 sisi angwa 5.8 esi kyerɛ abofo ma 5.0 nyama abofo oye ɔyɛ fɛ kaka ɔyɛ fɛ mo waba no ni nyo so papa mo wɔyɛ no ɔyɛ fɛ even for free SHS ya wo ebo so mpo wan gu no mpo ɔno so yɛ ahoho ama sisi ɛkɔ university first year no mpo ɔyɛ free no so yɛ ahoho ama nti why ediba no why bi yɛ bɛsɛ wɔnyɛ mo ɔn se na mo fa me na na yɛ sɛ
Hello, what's that?
The young papa ni ebi ayo yete na yesra nyame no ma na honde no ntumi nyama onse ne dam na mom ska no mbrapom ska no na mbrapom na bribi ayo.
So in all this, we know that the trends by way of the economic indicators have been very much favorable. And you will know that when it comes to how the CD has performed against the US dollar, the British pound, even the major international currencies, apart from those two, also has been, inflation has been trending downwards, now single digits, so to speak, now 8. And the question then is, has it reflected in the lives of ordinary Ghanaians? But is this a good stepping stone to create the benchmark, that a good measurement of what the expectation should be for the finance minister and the government of John Dramani Mahama for 2026 has been well laid by way of the foundation? And Adam, clearly, that question will go to you. Everything done well so far?
Well, Roland, let me first say good morning to you and to my brothers on the panel and to our cherished viewers across the world, especially to the good people of Ketu North. Because I'm here today as a member of parliament because of the trust and the confidence that they have in me. And so I want to once again thank them for their support. And I'm extending my best wishes for the week to them, and also to invite them to Weibo Kope on Friday morning, where we'll be having a community engagement and cut sort for the construction of some classroom block or classroom units. Roland, the economy as we have it today, clearly we have seen some significant improvements in the management of the economy. Since President John Dramani Mahama was sworn in on 7th of January, he has worked together with his team, the finance minister, governor of Bank of Ghana, Sami Jemfi at Gold Board, and all the other sector players to restore confidence in the economy. As we speak today, all economic indicators are showing positive signs, and everything shows that we are on the trajectory of progress, and we are recovering from the devastating effects of the mismanagement that we experienced under the Akufo-Addo administration. All the indicators, as we speak today, Roland, inflation, for example, is in single digits. And to move inflation to about 8% as it is today is clearly something that needs to be celebrated, and we must commend the managers of the economy. Roland, again, you will see that even when it comes to our debt management and the fiscal discipline we have seen in the last 10 months, we clearly can say that the managers of the economy today are doing a better job than those who managed it in the past. How does it reflect in the life of the ordinary Ghanaian? And this is the big question for us and for people like us who have background in economics and in finance. This is always the most difficult aspect of the job, to explain to the good people of Ghana or to the people how these indicators are reflecting in their lives. Well, and when we say inflation has reduced or is coming down, and today it is at we have a single digit, what it simply means is that the rate at which prices of goods and services increases is lower. So it doesn't mean that the prices of goods and services are reducing necessarily, but what it means is that the rate at which it is reducing, it is going up. So for example, Roland, in the past, you could walk to the market and you buy an item for 100 Ghana cedis. 2 days later, you go back to the same market, and that item that used to be 100 Ghana cedis will be sold to you at 140 Ghana cedis. But today, you don't experience that, because with inflation coming down to 8%, what it means is that even if there is an increment in that on the price of that particular item, the increment is minimal at best, minimal. So it could be a movement from 100 cedis to, let's say, 101 cedis, or let's say 102, 103, instead of 140 that it used to be. And so basically, this is the concept of inflation. Now, so today, when you look at our economy and you want to measure the performance of the managers of the economy by all the indicators available, there is no doubt that the managers of the economy today are doing an amazing job, and they are performing far better than what we inherited. Let's get into 3 or 4 of the indicators. I've already spoken about inflation. Roland, at a point, inflation rose to over 50% in this country.
51%.
54%.
51%. 54%. I mean, these are the figures. You said 54, but over 50%.
Who said 51?
Yes,
it's 54%.
My friend from the MPP says 51.
I'm not from the MPP.
You are not from the MPP. Okay, don't. Sorry, I didn't know that. Roland, I thought you were from the MPP. But Roland, inflation moved to over 54% in this country. What it meant was that you could go to the market in the morning, buy an item for 100 cedis. In the afternoon, you go back to the market, and the same item, the price has increased to 154 Ghana cedis. That is basically it. But today, inflation is being sustained at a single digit, and we have the confidence that, looking at the way this government is managing the economy, it can only get better. We also talk about the exchange rate. In fact, the former vice president and the economic messiah of the NPP, the only economist that the NPP touts as the economist who knows everything about the economy, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the respected former vice president of the Republic of Ghana and former presidential candidate of the NPP, and hopefully the presidential candidate come January 31st, 2026, told us in this country that if the fundamentals of the economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. The reverse is that if the fundamentals of the economy are strong, it reflects in the exchange rate. And that is true. As we speak today, from a country that saw our currency depreciate in value so much that at a point we needed 17 Ghana cedis just to get $1. Today, our exchange rate has improved so much. The cedi has been appreciating against the dollar. And today, when you go to the interbank market, the dollar and the cedi is trading below 12 Ghana cedis in the interbank market. What it means is that our exchange rate, our currency, the strength of our currency, the value of our currency today is stronger than it was in the past. What it means for importers is that today, if you wanted to import an item that cost $1,000, in the past, you needed 17,000 Ghana cedis to be able to pay for that. But today, with just about 11,000 or 11,500, you'll be able to acquire the same item at $1,000 under the John Dramani Mahama administration. These are signs that indeed it is reflecting in the pockets of the good people of Ghana. And again, Roland, that also reflects in prices. Go to Aboso Okai, because in the past, when you go to Aboso Okai, the reason that our dear traders in Aboso Okai gave, spare part dealers gave for always increasing the prices of spare parts astronomically was the fact that they said the cedi was weak and that the exchange rate was not favorable. But today, Roland, when you go to Aboso Okai, the level of stability that the spare part dealers have enjoyed over the period and the confidence that they have in the economy,
that policy
reflects
in itself, and then that initiative,
yes,
even though positive to support the cedi, has come under extreme criticism. I think over the last week or two, Kujo Oponkruma, for example, was saying that the central bank shoring up the cedi, especially trying to create that level of stability by making it available by way of the reserves and then also pushing it into the economy in itself, should not be the right way to be able to do that. That it has to be organically.
At what point did they realize what the right way to manage the economy was?
How do you mean? For example,
was a cabinet minister.
Yeah, but the BOG governor says that.
Yes, Kojo Oponkruma was a cabinet minister, and we saw under the NPP how even despite all the injection of forex into the market, still they just simply could not hold the cedi. In fact, at a point they told us that they had arrested the dollar and given the key to the IGP. When it was rising to around 17 plus, we kept asking whether the IGP, whether the key, the dollar had escaped and left the IGP's custody and all of that. So, Roland, the MPP cannot teach us how to manage this economy, because when they were given the opportunity, they failed at it. We welcome criticisms. We welcome constructive ideas. But for people who mismanage this country's economy to the extent that all the credible rating agencies pushed us into junk status only a few months ago, today cannot be the ones preaching to us how to manage the economy. The people of Ghana can see clearly that Dr. Ato Forsen and the NDC's economic management, the NDC government's economic management team are doing their best. Today, the governor of the Bank of Ghana has introduced a number of policies which is helping us stabilize the economy, stabilize our currency, and today traders are trading. We are approaching December. In the past, under the NPP, traders would have been in the market looking for dollars and all of that to make orders. Why? Because December, when import increases, the cedi always loses value.
Based on that cycle.
Based on that cycle. But today, Roland, we are in November approaching. This is the time that people place the orders, because when you place the order, it takes sometimes four weeks, 5 weeks for the items to arrive. So we are actually in the period where people are placing orders.
Ideally, the demand should be high.
But so the demand for dollar is even high as we speak. But look at the currency. The cedi is still stable. So we have seen and enjoyed some level of economic stability. And we have the confidence that this government will do better even going into the next year, because we are only coming out from the difficulties that the NPP plunged us into. Let's commend the managers of the economy. We are not at where we want to be yet. And let me say that. However, we are not where we used to be. Where we are today is a significant improvement in the management of the economy, Roland.
And if you clearly take a look at what Kese Latoforsen said he would do, is to make sure that he rationalizes expenditure by way of making sure that, well, if you're spending on freebies, you also make sure that you don't overly spend on items that you could ideally be sourcing locally. And I've had criticism from the side of the MPP or the opposition who say that he could have done it better. But you also find that at the end of the day, you also want to put in a policy initiative that encourages private sector participation, manufacturing, for example. But you need to create the stability first. And that should mean that those accolades should be going directly to Kese Latoforsen and the government. Shouldn't it be Dr. Kweku Boying, instead of the constant criticism?
Before I go on, let me say good morning to my co-panelists on the set here, and then to my constituents back in Amasaman. And then let me say a happy birthday to my boy, Baba Yaya Ademo, my PA. His birthday today. God bless him, and then for the good work he's been doing for me. And then also to thank the people of Bono for receiving us well over the weekend. We were there within almost about...
You and who were where and where?
Ghana Watch Initiative, undertaking a research. So we were there in Kato, in Sunyani, in Brekum, and all that. So it was good for us, a nice experience on the field. And then also to say a good morning to the incoming flag bearer of the NPP, Honorable Kennedy Oyine Japan.
That's right. Is he the one you said was in Bono?
No, he was actually in the Voto region.
Okay. But your team was in Bono?
My team was in Bono.
Did you meet Abronye?
No, really.
He's the regional chair. So if you are going to meet party people, you should be in a position to meet him alongside those individuals.
We are undertaking a survey to find out whether how the message of Honorable Kennedy Japan has resonated with the delegates and all that. So we didn't actually need him. Okay. And then Honorable Ken will be in the Eastern region.
But Abronye will be a delegate.
Yes, he's a delegate.
You decided to exclude him from...
Oh, well, for now, we can exclude them. Honorable Ken will be in the Eastern region from on the 12th to 20th. He's in the Eastern region, so the folks in the Eastern region, watch out for him. He's coming to give you the message of hope, and then how he would bring Ghana up to scratch and then make Ghana a better place. Talk about the public sector wages that we are talking about.
No, we're talking first on the finance minister, a preview to him. Then we'll talk about the public sector. Okay. Of course, it dovetails, but...
for me, I would say that before even the NDC came into power, yes, at one point we were at 54% with inflation. Things were looking very bad. But then, along the line, we saw that the economy was on a rebound. It was coming back to where we used to have it. I think COVID and then all that had taken us back. Things were not so good. But before the elections in 2024, things were looking good because the inflation that used to be at 54% had dropped to almost 20% before elections 2024.
23%.
So 23, yes. So it was good. It was not looking all that bad, and I think that the measures that were put in place then were to bring Ghana back to where it used to be. So if Kesley Ateford is following the same measures, it will definitely bring us.
I don't understand. Are you saying that Kese Latoforsen is following the blueprint of the MPP, the Akufo-Addo-led Bawumia government?
Yes, that's basically what was happening.
But that blueprint took us to 54% inflation.
It was because of the external...
Led us to domestic debt exchange.
It was because of the external factors that we face as a country.
What are the external factors?
Oh, you know the Russian-Ukraine war that had
It's still
happened.
ongoing, you know that.
Yes, but then it is not as it used to be as we have it now. So, yes, I'm being blunt with you. Then the restrictions and all that.
The Russia-Ukraine war is not as intensive as it used to be.
As it used to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely, like I was saying, things were changing. Although there were disappointments here and there, I wouldn't sit here and say that I was happy with whatever that was happening in 2024, but it was changing. And so if NDC comes, like I said last time, about 3-4 weeks ago, I am not ready to critique them yet because I still feel that they are in their first year. And so I don't want to throw jabs and punches. I wish them well. I want Ghana to succeed. Our priority for us is to ensure that Ghana is back on track and then we're doing what is good for us. But then my worry is that all these that my brother was talking about with the capital injections and then all that is coming into the economy and then all that. You see, the first 3 months, the Bank of Ghana injected about $600 million forex into the economy. Somewhere in June, when they refused to inject the forex into the system, we saw what happened. The dollar just was running at the pace that we could not catch them. So later on, they had to come back and inject as much as 1.7 billion US dollars into the economy. So if you keep on injecting these forex, yes, we know that, like you were saying, the Abosokan people and all that, a lot of the pricing of goods had gone up because there was no forex in circulation. We didn't have them. And then if I would struggle to go get forex so I could go buy any product out there, definitely if I come, I should be able to rope my cost into it and then a profit margin so that I can make some significant gains out of it. So definitely that was the situation. But the very moment that we find dollar, people can get it and purchase whatever they want to buy out there. Definitely the pricing of goods and services must come down. But is that the case today? The pricing that we find out there is still not down. People, yes, we're saying inflation is 8% today, is a single digit inflation today, but we can't even have the money to buy. We don't even have the money to buy. There's no money in circulation.
There's no money in circulation?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yes, people, if they want forex, can go get them from the banks at a good rate and then go and bring whatever goods. But then people are not buying.
Dr. Kukubwa, is it not true that when there's sustainability in terms of how well the city is doing against the US dollar, the purchasing power of individuals in relation to how inflation is gets to be better? And as a result of that, as the economists will tell you, clearly, if somebody's purchasing power over a sustained period because the rate at which prices are increasing or decreasing at a minimal level, then the consumer is better off. And that's why we're seeing that relative stability. And consumers are not agitating like it used to be the period from 2021, 22, 23, ultimately till we had the DDEP.
Bro.
Sir.
Get your team out there. Let them find out from the consumers out there whether, yes, let's say the inflation rate is down and all that, there's stability and blah, 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 as they want us to believe in. But then there is no currency in circulation for them to purchase. The purchasing power is not there. People are not buying. Yet that's the city. Do we have...
What do you mean by the purchasing power?
Government is not paying. Government is not undertaking projects. Government is not spending. The very moment government is not spending, we don't have... Second, the very moment...
Don't be distracted.
Adam wants to worry me, don't mind him.
I will respond when you are done.
You see, the very moment government is not spending, currency is not in circulation. Okay, and then yes, you have your figures look good on the books, but then is that the reality out there?
What is the reality?
The reality out there is that the ball of Kenke hasn't dropped from the 2 cedi to 1 cedi 50 pesos. It is still 2 cedi and even going to 2 cedi 50 pesos. And then even so, people don't have the money to buy them. That is a harsh reality. We would not sit on national television and lie to people. Okay? The harsh reality is that we can't even buy them at all. When inflation used to be 54 and then was dropping to 23, people were still had the purchasing power to buy. But today, people don't even have money to buy at all. And worst of it is, we'll come there. We'll come and talk about the wages and all that they have brought up. It's woefully inadequate and insignificant. If you look at all these things that are going on, we need to be straightforward with our people. Yes, like I said, I wish them well. I want them to do well, because if the government does well, it is not for NPP or NDC, or it's not for some particular people, but it's for the whole Ghana. So we wish them well, but they should tell us the truth and not coming out to bring us good books that look so good, but in reality, we are not seeing anything.
Your candidate Japan, says that relatively, in comparison to the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia-led government, the economy has been relatively stable and well managed compared to when his opponent, Bawumia, was the head of the economic management team. That also presupposes that it's a far departure from your position, is that not?
It is not.
But Loapia Dankwa, you have your turn. Loapia Dankwa, the reality is that once you want to rationalize expenditure, not many people will be happy. But for this time, we've had even members of parliament and then those who are MMDCs say that their statutory payments, whether it's a common fund, etc., have been duly paid to them. And that also lends credence that payments are being made, is that not it? So cannot be true that people are not being paid.
So let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning, and to reiterate that I see that Ken has a seat on this holy table. Ken Japan has a seat on this table, so the MPP is duly represented on this table. Maybe.
No, please, let's go ahead.
Why this position?
I wish my lovely brother a good morning, and then my own professor a good morning. I wish that Ken is represented on this table. Russia-Ukraine is still ongoing. Russia-Ukraine is still ongoing. And what's it called? The city is now 10.9.
But
inflation is single digit. IMF estimates our GDP to be 88 billion. As of close of 2024, it was 82 billion. Now, when you define what an economy is, and when you understand that an economy is the state of any country or any region in terms of its production and consumption of goods and services and the supply of money, that the role government plays in every economy is in terms of the fiscal, when we say fiscal year, we are talking about how government raises money and how it spends money and the monetary. Then when you make a comparative analysis, I think the only conclusion you can come to is that this government has done significantly better than your government. Significantly better. That this government, that the government of John Dramani Mahama has done significantly better than the government of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. And that the basis of that performance is not because government is not spending like you are saying. Because that cannot be the basis. Probably what they are spending, but they are spending on productive issues. Because there are some payments that are statutory, there are some payments that are legal, that you can't but what's it called? A P. Now, S&P is telling us that it raised Ghana's economy right now, credit rating, at B- with a stable outlook. Now, it's interesting to note that this rating is lower than our ratings in 2013, it's lower than our ratings was in 2014, it's lower than our ratings in 2015, lower than our ratings in 2016. You understand? But what makes this very positive and very interesting is when you place it in context. And the context being that we came from a junk status. You understand? And within just 10 months, and with the war in Russia and Ukraine still raging, unlike what my brother said, still raging, deadlier than before.
Oh, it's not deadlier than before, Papa.
Our credit rating is now being negative. Now, why is S&P upgrading us? S&P is upgrading us because they are saying that we have significantly improved in terms of our external financial position. Now, what that simply means is that as of the beginning of the year, our reserves had $6.8 billion. As of today, our reserve is at 11 billion, about 9% of our GDP. Yes, our reserve is so significant that we can afford, to put dollar into the market to stabilize our economy. Now, what's the function of Bank of Ghana? Because it's Bank of Ghana that made those injections. What's the function of Bank of Ghana? The function of Bank of Ghana, one, is to stabilize the currency. Two, is to deal with inflation.
As far as the monetary policy.
That's the duty of Bank of Ghana.
So what's your point? That it's only trying to stabilize?
Exactly. And it can do so because of the significant improvement in our external financial position. Because you must have the dollars before you can inject. You understand? Now the point is that within a space of 10 months, now they are saying no policy, but within a space of 10 months, we've moved our external financial position from 6.8 billion to about 11 billion. Now when you come to fiscal, unlike a certain government that decided to, in their transformational agenda, spend 400 million on the program that was meant to be their most transformational agenda, the one they want to have, and spend over 5 billion on a useless project like NAPCO. Unlike a government.
Can you explain that? Because NAPCO is supposed to provide jobs.
How
or are you making claims that they're only providing stipends?
First of all, how much did NAPCO add to our GDP? How much? They should tell us. Now, the program that they touted as going to be transformational in terms of adding to the GDP, in terms of creating jobs, in terms of adding revenue to our country, they spent 400 million Ghana cedis. Because we say that the role that the government plays in any economy is in terms of the fiscal and monetary. In fact, the fiscal is what the president directly has a hand in.
Yeah, through the finance minister.
Yeah. And they blow it. Now you take the SML, you create a contract that purports to do something that was already being done, just to put money into your pockets. That's what they use a fiscal policy for. National service, through criminal means, spent 2.2 billion.
You're making claims that the economy was leaking?
Significantly, 2.2 billion. 2.2 billion. Buffer stock. People were building mansions. Go to the energy sector.
All these are allegations.
You go to but these are facts that our auditors' reports have laid claim to.
Allegations.
So the fact that
these are quotes from the auditors general's report.
What is an allegation is whether or not it was the people. But as to the losses, are facts that are matters that are factual, because they are in our auditors' reports, and there are more stories of serious leakages.
More rot.
You understand? And so, in the past, and it's not happening now, and I hope it continues. Government used its fiscal policy in a manner that was so reckless. In a manner that was so reckless that it rendered our economy junk. It put us in a situation where our economy lost all credibility. It put us in a state where, contrary to the principle Nanado espoused, the principle of the Hattarization of the city.
What do you mean by Hattarization?
Sidinaya Hatta. Sidinaya Hatta. I didn't say that all. There was His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president who said he was going to protect the public purse. He was the only president who directly made that promise. But Nanado opened our public purse at a time when we had a public financial management regime. And they created a fiscal regime that destroyed the very fabric of the economy. You get the picture. Because beyond the strong position of our external position, one of the reasons S&P is saying is the cause for this positive or this stable outlook of our economy is the fiscal discipline that is being shown. S&P they told us why they were rating us. And that one, we have improved significantly on our external financial position. And he said it was because of the gold and cocoa.
Leading to the great balance of payment performance.
And then two, the prudent nature in which the fiscal side of the economy has been managed. Those were the reasons they give. And the reasons are so clever. Because see, what's called economic indicators are like your health indicators. In the sense that, so you all go to hospital, they say your BP, for a normal human being, your BP ought to be this, 120/80. If your BP is over 120/80, you know that health-wise you will be working okay.
That's why you say Hattarization.
No, but Nanado said one of the reasons why he was bringing His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was to deal with the principle of the Hattarization of the city. So the job of Bawumia was to stabilize the city. Bawumia himself said that if you are confused about the state of your economy, one key indicator you ought to look at is your exchange rate. And Mahmoud Bawumia, when he said that the exchange rate was about 2:1, indeed, Nanado said that because the dollar had moved from 1:1 to 2:1, His Excellency John Mahama ought to have resigned. Now, the reason why he didn't resign was what? The envelope under the table. That's what Nanado told us. Yet, when it went to 17:1, Nanado didn't see the need to resign. Maybe we know the reasons. We've seen Hanan's mansion. We've seen the 2.2 billion NSS.
You've seen what?
Hanan's mansion. We've seen the 2.2 billion. In fact, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia said he fought for power. And because of the success in that fight, Japan has made money. Hanan has made money. Benchampo has made money.
Ken was already.
I beg you. I'm quoting. I'm quoting. Bawumia said that.
When did Bawumia?
Oh, dog.
When did he become the vice president to come make Ken a rich man?
Oh, dog.
When did
dog. Bawumia, you see, don't let us lose focus. Dog. Bawumia says, listen,
So please stop.
listen.
Let me stop interjecting. So that
Dr. Bawumia said that he fought hard for the MPP to win power. And because of that success, Japan use the word tam. What's his name? Hanan tam. The NSS people, they've gotten 2.2 billion tam. See, the point is, when Nanado failed, beyond all the fact that he created a criminal enterprise, what they failed was their radical failure to transform this economy. And JDM will be faced with the same problem. You understand? Because what the IMF program has done and what their own fiscal discipline has done is to create that stability that will serve as a springboard for transformation. Now, they need to find strategies, and I've read their big push agenda, which in Koko and Ketekete, their 24-hour economy. if they can master just 10% commitment to those projects, if they can find a way of including the masses of this country in their real politicking, if they can find a way of creating a culture that is more patriotic than parochial, if they can improve even on their discipline, then the big push agenda, the 24-hour economy, has the potential to bring about the transformation that we need. Because unless we get transformation, unless Ghana is transformed one way or the other, then this cycle of going to the IMF, getting some stability, and then going haywire will be continued. Because all we've done is that where we've had an improvement in our credit ratings, on the back of that, we just go back into the international borrowing market. We borrow and we come and consume. You understand? So my call on the government now is they've done well. But there was a reason why I brought about the 2013 ratings. They are doing well, or they seem to be doing well because of one, beyond the context, but also because of the comparison. If you compare with the junk, then it looks like you are doing so well. You understand? But if there's a time for them to rise and shine and follow their own policies, it's not, because when they do that, then we can be transformed. And that's the only way in which we can have a sustained economic.
Dr. Tutuboing, now after the consolidation of the first year or the first 9 months, for the next year, what will be your expectation of the finance minister? And so you say that by Thursday, or is it Wednesday or Thursday, then when we have in the budget read, you would want to see a number of actionable policy initiatives towards moving from that consolidation into real-time expenditure into some key areas.
So, but let me acknowledge the presence of my co-panelists and also appreciate our viewers going forward. My greetings to Gabriel, a friend I have, who is an ardent viewer of TV3 Monday programs. I've listened to my co-panelists, Adam, Dog, and then Lawyer, and I feel that they have made certain good points. I feel that, yes, the improvement in Ghana's rating by S&P is a welcoming news, and for which I am of a high expectation that Ghana as a country, not just the current, government, not just the current finance minister, should do something, to ensure that at least we continue to see improvements, in the S&P ratings and other, agencies that are into ratings when it comes to the international, market issues. What I expect the finance minister to do is that as a country, we need to make certain, unpopular economic decisions that would sort of drive and sustain economic reforms and economic stability. It is very important, right? Again, we would also want to see a kind of economy that, we can actually improve on our physical discipline. As lawyers said, there has been some, kind of discipline so far, which I agree, but we still want to see more. The reason why I am talking about this is the fact that, Roland, the fact still remains that the B- rating, the B- over B rating, it's not about something that we can say that we have actually moved, from the junk, issue. In fact, when you look at the rating, the B- rating, All right, this is it. There are 3 key descriptions of it. And that indicates that Ghana's economy is still weak. It is still uncertain, meaning we are faced with a lot of uncertainties, and it is still vulnerable. All right. And so, if you are not careful, and there is any problem, especially that has to do with anything external, that is the external shocks, to creep in, we will have no other option but to again move to the capital market, again move to our external donors, of which we would have a lot of issues. What it means is that if you are not careful, whatever gains we are making or the economy is making may be eroded. And my second point is that, yes, for now, we see the government doing so well. The finance minister and his team has been very, efficient in terms of, the rate at which they are managing this economy. And so they've been able to manage issues to the extent that, they are not actually operating under a full capacity of 100%, or let's say 101%, but actually operating this economy within 70%, capacity, which indicates that more or less they are doing well, they can do well, but they need to push to the level where this economy will operate efficiently, under 100% or 101%, so that all these issues about inflation, all this doubt about inflation, and the fact that Ghana's economies keep, moving from a lower inflation to a higher inflation, will be something of the past, so that we don't go back, to IMF, the Bretton Woods societies. We don't go back to these capital markets, to borrow and to increase, our debt stock, debt servicing, and all that. I would also want to see, on a more serious note, that the finance minister will make a case for a full industrialization, at least under this government. Probably going forward, if Parliament, if he can actually table, a proposal that will cause Parliament to debate, as to whether Ghana should move into industrialization, regardless of any government that comes to power. Because, you see, Roland, we need it as a country, and it is very important. Obviously, when you check our economic performance, when you check the forex inflows, that we are getting, most of the money we are getting from our exports, basically from raw materials. And Roland, I have said this here time and again, that our failure to industrialize, our failure to move into the tech zone is something that is actually causing this economy. And if we are not careful, look, we will keep on relying on foreign donor supports, and it will not be good for us in any way. So at a point in time, a government comes, does so well in the first term, by second term, that government begins to suffer. Why? Because, whatever gains that has been made quietly has been eroded, and that you suffer the wrath of your own people who actually elected you. All right. So for me, I think that, look, industrialization is the way to go. Ghana's economy basically is about services, which, you know, is not a good thing for us, even though services are needed, even though you could also see that in general terms, when you look at the how do you call it, world, you know, market, you see that, yes, Roland, please get some small time for me. Let me make Why?
Please continue. You have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Europa.
Not 5.
No.
Okay. So when you look at the world economy, obviously you will see that services are key. But for me, I feel that we still must move towards industrialization, supported by services. That is the only thing that, you know, whenever there's an external shock, like we talk about COVID, we talk about Iraq, we talk about Ukraine and all that, Ghana will not, you know, suffer for these things. And value addition and export diversification, very important. You see, Roland, if you don't diversify, I know that under Rollins, we did a lot of export diversification. But I feel that there are still a huge volume of non-traditional exports, you know, that we are not taking advantage of. And I think that we need to look at it seriously. But you see, Roland, I just want to take 1 minute to explain what we mean by, you know, the B- rating. Okay. For the purposes of our viewers, okay. I think that, yes, as you all allude to, the B- rating is an improvement of what we saw some years past. But again, the question is as to whether it is something that can sustain the economy. All right. And like I said earlier, the descriptions of that B- indicates 3 things. We have a weak economy. Our economy is uncertain, and it is also vulnerable. Now, the vulnerability actually means that if you are not careful, any other thing that will trigger, whether internal or external, we will go back to where we are coming from. We will lose all the benefits of the 8% inflation achievements. And that will be the end. All right. Again, the weak economy means that we are actually not making monies. We are not taking full advantage of the resources that we have to build a resilient, robust economy that can withstand, you know, foreign shocks. That kind of economy that will make us self-independent. We don't have it. All right. And
still very much exposed to fluctuating.
Exactly. And until we get to the B+ column, which is a more resilient economy, you know, we cannot be independent as we see it. And we should be worried about it. All right. We shouldn't be so happy with this achievement that we have gotten. All right. But the questions that are needed to be asked, we need to ask those questions. The answers that need to be provided, we need to get them. Obviously, as at 1965, Ghana wasn't, you know, economically self-sufficient. And that is the reason why Ghana has to go borrowing and borrowing. You understand?
That's 3 minutes.
It has been the case up to now. And most of our problems is not about the money that we go for, but the debt servicing that we find ourselves in.
Okay.
That is what is actually, you know, has been our bane.
Now, Adam, so once we want to rationalize the expenditure, the workers are also calling for more.
Yes,
we're told that at the tripartite meeting, 9% was agreed. But I've spoken to some of the union leaders, and they said they wanted more. And we're even giving some caveats to government.
So, Roland, I'll come to the issue of the workers, but quickly, let me respond to claims by my brother that government is not spending. Dr. Kweku Boahen, that government is not spending. And I have heard this argument by members of the NPP and functionaries of the NPP that government is not spending, government is not spending. And I ask myself, how ridiculous can we be with that claim?
Well, what do you mean by being ridiculous?
Across the 261 MMDAs, government has paid all statutory obligations to them.
When did you go?
Salaries have been paid. Every significant project that needs financing from central government is being funded. Across all 16 regions, there are projects. Roland, as we speak, check one of the most common things you see on social media is flyers from various DCs and MCs about shortcutting for projects because monies have been released into their accounts. You see, let me tell you why the MPP is making this claim, Roland. To the MPP, they were so reckless and they were so indisciplined when it comes to management of our resources that spending responsibly appears to them as no spending. The only thing we are not doing, the only thing John Dramani Mahama and Ato Forsen are not doing is that they are not spending irresponsibly. They are not spending recklessly. They are not putting money into phantom projects. They are not injecting $58 million into the digging of useless holes. They are not injecting money into payment of ghost names. They are not injecting money into deals like SML, which became a cash cow for them. They are not injecting money into things that happen at places like Buffer Stock and all of that. Roland, the only thing, no, it is not about whether they are here or not, but the point must be made that we are spending, but we are spending responsibly. And there is no institution. Workers are not complaining that they are not being paid. In fact, when it is time, before the end of the month, workers receive their salaries. Why? Which set of workers can tell you that they are not being paid?
The nurses that were on demonstration.
Please, they are not part of the payroll. Let's distinguish the issues. When your government was about to exit, and let me spend a minute or two on this matter. When your government was about to exit power, when your government, the MPP, was about to exit power, and they saw the threat of the young people voting against them, and the many demonstrations by nurses who were not posted, they started the process of recruiting teachers and nurses. For many of them, the process was not complete. That is why when you listen to the nurses, they will tell you that they have worked for 11 months, 12 months, 13 months. Why? How long has the NDC been in power? Because you did not fully exhaust the process to start paying them. And you did that against the elections. We have taken steps to regularize. There were a number of them that remained unsorted out. And as we speak, Finance Minister has given financial clearance, and all these people are being regularized. So that is not what we are talking about, because those people were not already on the payroll. We are talking about those who are on payroll. No worker in Ghana will tell you today that under John Dramani Mahama, there are delays in payment of their salaries. And so when you say we are not spending, it appears as though you are not in this country. Look across this country. The country has been turned into a construction site. From here to Aplawu, you will see construction is ongoing. Workers are on site. From here to Kumasi, contractors are on site. They are working. From here to Sunyani, from here to Takrady, from Ho to Joje, all these places, government is spending. Big push projects are ongoing. District assemblies are spending. Projects are ongoing all over the country. But the only thing we are not doing is that we are not as reckless as the MPP was. So because we have not released money into the system to fund all these phantom projects. No, so Roland, I want us to make this point that the NDC government is spending, but we are spending responsibly. So if spending responsibly appears to them as no spending, then we are sorry, we cannot please them, because we will continue spending responsibly. We will continue ensuring that every cedi that belongs to this state will be channeled into development, into creating jobs, into productive sectors of the economy. We will not take $6 million to pay Smart Infraco for no work done and many other deals like that. Look, the kind of rots that the NPP left behind, Roland, it stinks. But again, the Attorney General and his
the workers, the expenditure will have to go
about workers. Roland, no, I'm not going to talk about workers. 3 minutes.
No.
About the workers, Roland.
Your time is up.
No.
Let them, with all due respect, I gave you the time.
Roland, no, I was only rebutting what he said. And I need to make a statement on the workers, please.
Now, Now these same workers, for example,
no, Roland, there were fair to me. I need to talk
I've been fair to you.
I was only responding to his claims.
It's about, so you have to make your point within the time frame.
Okay, so if you can give me 2 minutes to talk about
maybe later.
Okay, no problem. If later, fine.
So I owe you 2 minutes. Just okay. So, but at the end of the day, the workers insist that 9% is not enough for them. But of course, we know that contractors have been paid. The last time the roads minister was saying in excess on GOG accounts, 5 billion even given to local contractors as well as their foreign subcontractors or partners. So that argument is not entirely true.
No, let me tell him.
The workers.
I'll come to the workers. I'll come to the workers.
You have 4 minutes.
I'll buy. Talk about the workers. Listen, let me make it clear to my brother Adam that if we talk about government spending and all that, and he talks about we being NPP was reckless and all that, I don't see where he's coming from with all those arguments, and I don't want to go into them. But then I just got back into Accra from Sunyani, okay, and then
from the Bono tour.
Yes, from the Bono tour, and then on the road, as he claims, it is not as it is. Because contractors are not back on the road in Osino here or in Ilemu.
Has been paid.
Listen, Adam, I'm telling you, listen, Adam, probably you are busy here in Accra because you have to be in Parliament and all that. But then I'm telling you what is happening out there.
Where? Which of the roads?
I just mentioned that when you get to the Osino bypass that is going to
5 billion.
It is not going on. Even in Pokwase, we're expecting that after monies have been released to the contractor, it should be out there.
Maripoma is back on the road.
He's back on the road.
It is not as it is. Listen, he has. Oh, my brother, he has gone to. When monies were released to Maripoma, they have done some sections, but then a lot of the other sections have not been attended.
But they are doing the work.
Which work are they doing? When we are not seeing it, it's not out there.
They are working.
Okay. If they are working, they must show working. If we don't see it, we can't see it anywhere. And then I come back to that the surge in our credit ratings and all that.
You know, Maripoma and the workers, they had stopped work until they were paid almost $1 billion, close to.
Yes,
and then they went back to.
And then they went back.
And we went there live.
Yes,
TV3 Newday.
That's what I'm saying. That
you are saying that the live we went to do it.
They went back to the site to try and then continue with the project. But then as at last week,
they are not there.
But I live in Pokwase.
They are there.
You mean the workers are not on site?
They are not even anywhere. They are not on site. Ellen.
Okay, go ahead.
You see, and then let me come back to this credit rating.
And they are working on the motorway.
And then they said the surge in our credit ratings is because of a surge in reserves and then the commodity boom. And then the commodity volumes that we are talking about that has gotten favorable pricing on the world market. We are talking of cocoa and then gold. And then today, presently, we are producing cocoa at barely 50%.
From the time.
So from 2024.
From the time.
Okay, at 50%. And then, so are we saying that it is because of the gold that we are getting the more reserves that are coming in? And then if it is so, then it is going to be very difficult for us to fight Galamsey. Because if that one, I checked the market price today and it's $129,000, $11 and then 34 cents and per kilo of gold. And if this is what is making us have the boom as S&P Global wants us to believe in, that is because of the surge in the favorable commodity pricing for gold and cocoa. And then we are not producing cocoa at all. Then it means it's gold that is giving us money. Then it means we are in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Because that means that it is going to be very difficult for us to stop this menace or this canker of Galamsey. because it is bringing us money.
All right.
And then
time is
to
up.
talk about the workers, I think that yes, it is good that government says that it's bringing, giving them 9%, moving the minimum wage from 19.97 to 21.4 cities, and then so now cumulatively, if you look at it, it means that a minimum wage is 440, moving from 440 cities to 470 cities. And then if you would put this on the grading of workers on the single spine salary structure, then it means that the lowest grade is between 1,200 to 1,500. And then we have the highest grade being 2,500 to 3,200. And then all that they get here is a 9%. I think if we are saying, and then Kesley Atuforsen is telling us that Ghana, we are on a rebound and then things are working well, then this 9% they are given is woefully inadequate. I think the previous years from 2017, 2017, it was 12.50%. 2018 was 11%, 2019 was 10%, 2020 was 15%, 2021 was 20%, 2022 it was 19%, 2023 it was 30%, 2024 it was 25%. And now workers are getting how many? 9%. I think it doesn't.
When the indicators of the economy have improved, purchasing power.
When it has improved,
can I use your facts?
Okay. All right. I give you 3 minutes for the unfortunate. Only 3 minutes. Please stick to it. The workers.
I don't need to talk much. You see, in the ideal situation, the 9% wouldn't have been adequate. But you see, when you are doing employment negotiations, one of the key factors that you rely on is inflation. One of the key factors you rely on in any employment negotiation is inflation. So if you have inflation at 8%, and then an increment of 9%, I think it's better than the 2019 30%, where inflation at that time was around 54%. Yeah, I want to use a fact. Because when they had increment of 30%, 90%, inflation was about 54%.
The 30% is not cola. Are you not talking about the cola?
No. It was.
Which year was it?
Doctor, so you see,
no, it's cola.
No, he says that.
The cola is a 30%, so that one was not a permanent thing.
So what was the permanent rate?
Yeah, I think it was around 4.
So it means doc is.
No.
So it means doc.
It was 2022. The cola was 15%.
So is that that doc is misinforming us?
No, I'm not informing. I'm not misinforming. I'm talking of 2023.
Is that doc is misinforming? No. So let me land. So the point is, you see, if you make recourse to comparisons, then you find yourself in a ditch. Okay. You understand? So do not let us resort to comparing.
We must compare.
Yeah, because if you compare, you find yourself in a ditch, because the facts you give us, juxtaposing that against the rate of inflation, leads to just one conclusion. It gives us the impression that this government is doing well. But and that's not all forces with. That's not all forces with when it's that the economy is still weak. You understand? But immediately you do the comparative analysis, then you must give His Excellency John Mahama gold, not just in the case of the ratings, but also in the employment situation. Because you have inflation at 8% and what's called an increment of 9%. So the point is that there are deep issues when it comes to employment. The first fact is, in any country, the biggest creators of jobs is the private sector. We are dependent on the public sector because government has failed to create that enabling environment where the private sector can create what's called valuable jobs.
That's where Kenny Japan comes in.
He just talks and creates. Doesn't say how.
Your time is up.
How you do. Please,
no.
So to land, I beg you.
Lawyer Gigi, you say Abigi. Lawyer Bigi.
Yeah, Bigi. So to land, you see, government is doing well, but government must go to transformation. They must rely on the GTP and they must create vulnerable jobs so that the definition of what an economy is, we will have the strong ability to consume to also grow the economy. This one, you've given me all the time to add them.
2 minutes for you, sir.
See, the whole thing about this,
the workers.
The workers is the fact that what is the value of the currency, that is the CD. Okay, whether at the rate of 54% inflation and at the rate of 8% inflation. Now, basically, if you are taking a minimum wage, 1,500 minimum, okay, somebody earning 1,500 a month. Last year, the person could do, if the person is spending 77 cedis to prepare fufu, which, of course, when you do the calculation, that's what you see, 77 cedis to prepare fufu. Obviously, it will take the person, let's say it is 1 meal a day, eating fufu once and will not eat again. That takes you to 19 days. You have 19 days, right? Okay. Now, when at the rate of 8%, all right, what it means is that now you are doing 54 cedis, 32 pesos, and that is equivalent to around 28 days. Okay, so even though you see a gain in the number of days that you'll be eating once, all right, are you following me? That
you have once. 1 minute.
Yes.
You have 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm following you.
All right. So what it means is that with this number of days, are you still proud? Because what about the 2 or 3 days that will be left? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to borrow to feed your family or what? You see, you are still not moving away from the disgrace that you still get. What it means is that, look, the Ghanaian should be given a fair deal for working, all right? And the fact still remains that when Ghana went into all these economic issues, that the cost of foodstuffs started increasing. We have not seen any significant, reduction in the cost of foodstuffs on our market. We have not seen significant reduction in the cost of goods and services. No, I'm not saying that there hasn't been a reduction, but the adjective there is significant. Significant reduction. Because if you could do the permutations, from years back, you could see that from 2020, there were astronomical increases in the prices of goods and services. Astronomical.
Which year?
From 2020. All right. Yes. And going back, you see, to reduce prices has become difficult because of the lack of cooperation of these business people, market women, and all that. And for me, what I was expecting to see, and Roland, you agree with me, I've been making this point, that the problem of governments, has always been these market women and business people. All right. They are the cause of our problems. Basically, 8% reduction in inflation should give the Ghanaian worker that kind of relief that we are expecting, so that the 9% will still remain significant to us.
Yeah.
But look, even though we are achieving 8% inflation, okay, the 9%, base pay will not add any significant distance to our savings and all that.
As workers.
As workers. Exactly. And obviously, look, when you listen, if you have listened to some workers, worker unions and all that, they have been talking.
But you're a member of UTAG.
I'm a member of UTAG.
You even rep UTAG on the UE.
Our rep was there, on the negotiation table. But all the proposals that he put was not taken. We understand that we are not the only union that actually forms, how do you call it? Labor.
But this is with organized labor.
Organized labor. Okay. So that's why.
So you are one individual within UTAG who is complaining on this table.
Oh no, I'm saying that. Yes, if that is if I'm representing UTAG. Okay.
Yes. Supposing.
Then obviously,
all right.
What I am seeing on our platform, please let me land. What I'm seeing on our platform
There's going to be
the
fire.
Feedback, oh no, there's not going to be fire. I'm talking about the fact that people are not really happy. You understand? But my point is that we should actually see some level of what benefit to us as Ghanaian workers. Not that we don't appreciate what President Mahama is doing. Last year, he walked into the negotiation table to plead with us that this year things will be done well. But what we even received last year, there has been a reduction.
Yeah. Roland,
I'll give you only a minute.
Roland, I want to say that as a government, we really care about the welfare of the Ghanaian workers. And it is our desire that at every point in time, Ghanaian workers are paid well and paid deserving what they deserve. When you look at the 9% increment in the base pay, considering the economic conditions and the fact that today, the ordinary Ghanaian has much more higher purchasing power than they had about a year ago. We only plead with them that they should accept the 9%, knowing very well that this government is working in their interest. Roland, today, when you go to the pump, you don't need to spend 17 Ghana cedis a gallon to buy fuel. So for workers who used to fill their tanks, 70 liters with over 1,100, almost 1,200, today they need only 840 Ghana cedis to be able to buy fuel. Today, when you walk into the market, looking at how the inflation...
So that's why he says that
is a reflection on...
He says this is not an enough argument to...
This is a...
Thank you, Edem Magbana. Thank you, Lawyer Biggie. And then also Swapo, good morning to you as well.
But we appreciate the government for what they have given us, and we
all of you, thank you. All right, Swapo, good morning to you. Let me say good morning to the boss. Let me say good morning to the boss for the Environmental Protection Agency. Indeed, was with our team when the accident happened, and so let me say good morning to you, Professor Kluche, as well. At least your work is highly being appreciated, and so